Hi Collective, welcome into the channel. I'm Crystal, Divine Messenger, delivering messages to you from the higher realms. So welcome in everyone. So this is going to be a twin flame reading that I'm doing, and I don't like to do the twin flame readings especially anymore because I have had quite the experience, or so I thought, right? I've shared a lot on my story, right, as I felt like I've dealt with false flames, karmic flames, right, corrupted twin flames, right, because some of the fallen angels, okay, some of us on these twin flame missions, which are the chosen ones, by the way, we were contracted to come rescue the fallen, right? So I was heavily, I think, mixing up one of my contracts for a fallen angel with my twin, right? So with these integrations and these downloads, like literally what I was getting was that I've been bamboozled, like seriously. And like it's just funny how that term like came to my mind to describe it, because it's not even a term that I use, so I felt like it was channeled to me to tell me that, right? Like, and I totally get it, and I understand why we have these catalyst twins, okay? These false twins, some call them the catalyst, or some refer to them just as like a fallen twin. Okay, because it's somebody that like mirrors you perfectly to teach you these things and to push you into the highest version of yourself and for the integration, but it's not really your divine counterpart. Now, it could be somebody that perfectly matches you in every aspect, okay, in their dark side and you're in the light side. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important to not get caught up in these unions or connections where you think you know who your twin is, because that, I'm going to tell you right there, has kept me hung up a lot longer in this situation, because I was like, I can't abandon him, I can't leave him or whatever. But when you find out that a lot of these karmic and catalyst twins, right, why they're so heavily able to like mirror you and all of that is because literally they are the enemy, and they are literally able to access all of your like your blueprint, basically, because the enemy knows how to get in and to hijack and get in to you, and the way that it's done, connecting these cords and stuff to like your chakra systems, right, where they could feel, right, that, like, I remember when we first got together, my past lover, he would always say things like, see, twins, or whatever, because as soon as I would go to respond or lose my patience or something, so would he. And he was always like making it seem like we were mirroring each other with our emotional responses to different things that we would say. And I just always remember thinking, like, that's not what twin means. Like, why is he saying it? But I remember brushing it off, thinking like, wow, he really does not understand what the twin flame journey is about, right? But as I started to realize that when you're dealing with infiltrators and spirit monitors and stuff that can heavily access, and a lot of them, you know, they're being used by dark forces and stuff, and there'd be times that like he would tell on himself. Like, he would say things to me that I had never spoke about, never told him about, and then all of a sudden he would just, like, talk about it. And I'd be, how does he even know this? There's no way that, and, oh my God. So I was getting hints, and I was starting to see things. I was starting to realize that it was more like, he was definitely more like a spirit monitoring, and he was too attached to like my chakra systems, and there was too much control, and realizing that this was actually turning me away from my spiritual gifts when he would be really close, because he was putting me under a lot of spell work and manipulation right, and control, where it was shutting things down. So I wasn't able to notice the signs and the synchronicities and the messages other than what he was planting them to be. But at the same time, like, and it was protection too, because even when I would be able to connect when he wasn't around, right, and access gifts and stuff, because I've gone back and forth with this, right, and especially like pulling my energy back and away from him, thinking that he was just a fallen, right, and that he lost his spiritual gifts, because I do believe that some can lose their contracts due to not awakening, right, and maybe that's a factor too, if somebody did lose their contract and it got reassigned, and then maybe you're going to see that person starting to integrate more because they've had the new contract or whatever. But for some of you, you were just straight up bamboozled. Like you were infiltrated by the enemy, and you had somebody appearing to be your false flame. And for some of you, you might think that the only way that would resonate or make sense is like if somebody had to have known what a twin flame is, like say your partner's not very spiritual and things like that. Well, no, because we're working with the dark forces here, right? They don't want to have us very, very powerful beings, especially the ones that are here to integrate the other half of their soul to become the most powerful being here in this earthly realm. Right? To be fully complete and whole. You have to think that there's many lengths and plans that were carried out or hidden for protection purposes. So for some of you, like, yeah, things were just heavily protected from you. I keep looking at that. Is that an ambulance out there? Charlie, is that an ambulance? I think it's an ambulance. So, I lost her. So for some of you, it was for protection purposes, right? Because if you would have been thinking it, that they weren't your real like if you would have seen things as they were, like they would have found out who you're. It was almost like you had to be tricked for this, because it was also like you were heavily being watched and monitored by a spirit, all right, as well, because in a way it was like you were learning and you were still evolving with, it's like this was allowed to be done to you because it was still preparing you. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though this person was playing around and pretending to be your twin, it was actually still letting you reach your points of advancement. So it was almost like a game where Spirit was just like, all right, let's sit back and watch this. The enemy thinks that they're going to come in and play. Let's see how well it still activates our child. And you know what I mean? So for some of you, you still were able to ascend and reach all of your levels and your points and your initiations, and you were almost being initiated in by the dark forces. And it's like this beautiful karmic justice, because it's like, if they wouldn't have been playing so much, you wouldn't have advanced you so fast, so quickly. Like, I don't know. It's just like, because at the same time as they were testing you and doing these things, they were also betraying you and pulling on your energy. And you were actually doing these tests more blindly because you're more aware of what's going on when it is your actual twin that's activating you. So it was like, in a way, to have the enemy come in and infiltrate or whatever, to block and stop. Ultimately, it still did get you to pass your initiations, to ascend and all of that. And that's why it's going in alignment with the reading that I gave earlier, where it's like, as soon as this is removed, okay, the false flames, right, the karmic twins, whatever you want to call them, the fallen, as soon as they're removed, it just amplifies and magnetizes your real twin, right, in, because you've already done the work. So it's like literally like a switch, because it's like you're already in this energy vibrating. It's like you've already magnetically attracted it. It's just you had this false one here. So to remove that false one, you know what I mean? That's why things are going to be happening so rapidly. For some of you, like, you could have even pulled your twin in while dealing with this. And that's why the enemy could have been doing everything to try to, like, chaos, magic, all sorts of stuff, because they could feel energetically that your twin was in their presence, right? And literally, like, that happened. It was like 2 years ago. Like, oh my God. And I knew it. I was like, what? And I remember I was just like, why does this look like my divine mirror? Why is this person I've never, like, what is this? But I thought it was like tricks. I thought that it was like, no, because my twin is here, and oh my gosh. So you really got to let go. And what if that was just another trickery thing? So if anything, leave it alone. You cannot, like, try to, that's why for some of you, you need to stop trying to put, like, a name on it, a person, a visualization. Just be in the now, loving yourself, and just know, like, you've done everything on point. You've ascended. You have, you're right on point. You've initiated, and, like, you're getting this. You've reached your level. It's like I'm hearing divine union is imminent, right? And it's really, you know how that saying goes, like, well, when you stop looking for it and things like that. But for some of you, like, you were bamboozled, right? So because I feel that you were bamboozled by the enemy and spirit in a way, then you better believe that they're going to make sure that it's going to be made right to you. So that's why for some of you, like, you're getting extra, like, bonuses and things. For some of you, I heard you had extra protection and things like that. So don't think like they, what am I hearing, hung you out to dry or whatever. They were heavily watching what was going on. But it was one of these where it was just kind of a moment where something didn't go, like, according to, like, the original plan, but Spirit was like, all right, let's go with this anyways, and let's kind of see. So for some of you, you could have felt like you were being watched more. Like, you could have felt like your life was like a movie, a drama. I'm getting, like, Truman Show and things like that. Because for some of you, you were heavily being watched by Spirit, by every, I just caught the Lyran deck. Well, I tried to. The deck still fell. But, you were heavily being protected by your star family, but it's like, there was a lot that was going on. A lot has went into this. And it's like, and now things are being able to be revealed. As the truth is always revealed, for some of you, you needed to disconnect it. You needed to get safe, secure. But you know, the truth is always exposed. The truth always comes out. Thank you, baby. And, I don't know. This clearly isn't for everybody, but this is for somebody, right? If anything, take the teaching that I'm giving about the twin flame. That's why for some of you, like, yeah, if your twin did not do the work, okay, then they missed the time frame. We're out of time. So for some that didn't awaken and didn't do their work, then they didn't. But what I'm talking about here is a twin flame where some of you had enemies infiltrate. You had karmic catalyst twins and things like that come in before. It was like not according to plan. You had some people coming in that infiltrated, that kind of got in the way of your path and your journey, but you still ascended anyways. You're still right on point. If anything, it advanced you faster. It guaranteed your union, your ascension, and all of that. So look, right away, Stargate initiations, portals, power spots, and get outdoors, number 25, which is a 7, and we just had our 7/7 portal. This energy that came like, yeah, I had like at least 10 upgrades. That's how I know I'm definitely advancing. Look how she's like out of her body. For some of you, you've been having like outer bodies experiences, or you could be feeling the shifts and the different things that have been going on. This has been very, very powerful. But yeah, like I remember I got up to where I was counting. See, is that the fire truck or the ambulance? I told you I seen it. It's 4 of them. Stop it. 2 ambulance and a fire truck. See, I knew I seen lights there. Like healer found, regeneration, health look, and there's another 7. 16 in numerology is a 7. So we have 7, 7 right here. Healer is found, regeneration, health, empowerment, vitality. With the portals, the power spots, the Stargate initiation. That's why I said for some of you, like, yeah. For some of y'all, like, yeah. And 7. Oh my gosh, the greater plan, acceptance, letting go, and divine perfection. Oh my gosh. See, literally, that's what's going on. Like, things are being perfected now. Truths are being revealed. The secrets are coming out. You're starting to understand things. For some of you, this is going to allow you to detach, to let go, to realize, you know, that maybe that's why things were so much more challenging and difficult and hard for you to let go, because there's some of you, you were going through like extreme amounts of psychological warfare and spiritual attacks and physical and emotional abuse and manipulation and spell work and all of that. And that's why for some of you, like, you could even feel as though coming out of these relationships, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even want love. If I just went through all of this with my twin, like, oh my gosh, the person that was supposed to be, like, no. And that's why I was trying to explain, like, you guys don't understand when somebody's not to a certain level. These are people that just, they did not love themselves, right? So it's sad because, you know, hurt people, and when people don't love themselves, they're not capable of receiving love, giving love, and things like that. And that's why it's got to be felt in different ways, and that's why it can be lustful love, sexual love, things like that. Sometimes they get into domination and control, okay, and different things, and that's why this could have been very, very, like, heavy, tumultuous. I'm hearing very challenging, but that's what I mean. You guys need to realize this was all for like your initiations, your integrations, your healing, right? I'm hearing for some of you, you even got these demonic forces to open up and to feel love. Like for some of you, like literally, like you've got like these demons to like fall in love with you. For real. So now they are going under awakenings and activations. So for some of you, like literally, like you don't even know the levels that these went to and why they were allowed to happen, because they're even showing me like even the darkest ones still wanted love, and it's like the control started to turn that way, and maybe that's why things started to hang out a little bit longer. And they keep showing me like the Grinch, you know, like look at the Grinch, like he was so angry and upset with everybody celebrating without him, and you know, and then he stole all the gifts and all the things, right? And then what was, everybody was still uniting and coming together, right? And feeling that vibration of love and everything, that he still wanted to be a part of it. And that's kind of what is going on here, right? It's like for some of you, you may realize that some of the enemies that infiltrated, you could have literally broken their hearts open to feeling love for you, which now sends them down a journey of self-love and healing and integrating and releasing the darkness and recovering their souls. So that's very beautiful. So for some of you, you know, you did hit your contracts. For some of you, these were divine contracts for the fallen angels. It was kind of like the very last, this was like for some like their last chance to try to come home, right, to source. So this is very, very powerful. Like and for some of you, how powerful this is these are ancient beings. I'm talking like the first fallen angels. Like that's how like, and we know this is like a very like biblical time. Like I've always said it on my channel ever since I've been channeling, that all the ones from the beginning are going to be here in the end, right? So this is definitely our reset. And this was one of these final things of giving everybody a chance to recover their souls and come home. So wow, this was very powerful. All right, I'm just going to leave this one here as a channeling. I'm going to get into doing some other cards probably after I get taken out, get some sleep. But I was getting the downloads with all the upgrades that have been going on throughout the night. So I wanted to share this while I still had it. All right. Love and light to all of you. Bye, guys.